guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be getting ready for church and I thought why not film this so that people who really want to know how to do a quick glam for church can really know what to do. Let's get into this glam. I'm going to be using the Chilab lip oil to moisturize my lips just a little bit. Moisturize your face. Once you wake up, your skin is feeling really dry in some parts. Even if you're oily skin, there are parts of the face that experience extreme level of dryness, so I want you to make sure that you moisturize. And I've always talked about using the right moisturizer for your skin type. So this one I'm using is by Purito. It's a Korean brand, and I use this basically mostly around weekends, because weekends my makeup is kind of like chill and I don't necessarily have to do too much. Okay, apply a primer. Without a primer, your makeup is not going to last throughout the entire day. Even though you have maybe 2 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes to be in the church, you want to make sure that you prime your face, because without priming your face, your makeup will not even glide on easily. You may experience some level of patchiness within a very short period of time. After priming your face, you want to go ahead to apply your foundation. Allow at least 1 minute for the primer to sit on your face properly before you go ahead to apply your foundation. So I'm using the Urban Decay Face Bond foundation. This foundation is one I love to go to any day that I'm in a hurry, I want to just do something real quick. This is a very good one. Even the applicator just applies really easily. For church, I try to just keep my coverage, kind of moderate. You don't want to do too much. Keep it moderate. The Mirac foundation and concealer brush, and that's what I'm going to use to blend out this product. So just blend it out. You can see I didn't put too much. It's the little that I have on my face that I'm using to blend out evenly, and it's getting the job done. This is a very good foundation. I always recommend this foundation to my students. The thing is that one thing about the shade is that maybe not everybody will find their shade, and I feel like that's common too with most brands, not all the brands, because there are some brands like Fenty Beauty that really carry a really wide range of shades, but this one, it has a good range. But I've seen a lot of people who said that they didn't find their shade in it, and I mean, that's totally fine. I'm using the Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer. Little concealer because you're going to church. Very little. You don't want to do too much. It's not the same as when you're going for a party or a wedding. So little, just to brighten your under eye, but you want to keep it really simple and subtle. Buff this out just like so before I go ahead to blend it out with a sponge. So I just use this, spread it out. If you don't have this kind of concealer brush, you can use any small brush that you have, or you just go ahead to use your sponge. So I like the way it's looking. You can see that my under eye is brightened, but the product is not looking heavy. Okay, when it comes to your contour for church, you want to just use something really subtle, like a dark color of powder or a bronzer. You don't want to start doing the plenty dramatic kind of contour. So I'm going to be using the bronzer in the Patrick Ta contour and bronzer palette. This palette has the cream contour and the bronzer, so we're going to use the bronzer because we have just 10 minutes to get ready, and you don't want something that will take too much time while you're doing the blending and all of that. So for this, I'll be using the Jessup F04 brush, and I'll be using this side, the fluffy side. I'll just use that to pick the product just a little, and then just use that to create some dimension. If you use a cream product, you most likely will spend more time blending, so you want to save time and do a quicker blend and a quicker contour with the bronzer. The bronzer would not give you as defined contour the way the way your concealer or your cream contour would, but it will still get the job done, especially because you're not intended to do something too heavy. Okay, just blend it out nicely. So at this point, I like the way it's looking. We're going to go ahead to set our under eye. Setting powder. I'm going straight with the setting powder as opposed to what I would normally do, just because I want to save time. Normally I would use a pressed powder first, but I would just go ahead to use a setting powder. So, and you want to reduce it at the back of your hand. Don't ever go directly to the under eye with that. Set. Use the same bronzer to just snatch your nose just a little bit. Now we'll go over to the brows. Using Chelsea in the shade dark brown. You want to use a pencil that is easy to apply. You don't want to struggle. There's no time for struggling with the strokes or the shade. Just make sure that you're using a pencil that has the pigment to, you know, define your brows with ease. This time my brow has been nicely outlined. I'll just blend it in with the spoolie part of the pencil. The same thing here. And you want to go ahead to use your flat concealer brush. I'm using the Chelsea, and I'm going to just use a foundation to clean up the brows on a Sunday. I don't really spend much time with a concealer because in most cases the concealer will stress you out, like it will take more time, right? So a foundation will blend in easy. So you just want to use that foundation to, you know, just further define the brows to make it look more snatched. Why I'm not using a foundation is because I'm limited with time. I don't want to have anything that will make me spend more time unnecessarily. Yeah, so I just prefer to use a foundation because it's very close to it's already my color. I'm going to go ahead to apply some blush. When you're in a hurry, if you're not careful, your face could be looking pale, which is typically what happens when people feel like their foundation is a bit lighter. Sometimes your foundation is not lighter, it's just that your makeup appears pale. So typically what will make your makeup appear pale is like when you don't use contour the right shade. Maybe you're using a contour that is too close to your foundation color, so it basically doesn't do anything. It doesn't also mean you should go too dark. 2 shades darker than your foundation is just appropriate. Or you don't use blush. People so underrate the power of blush, so make sure that you use blush because it adds some warmth and some kind of dimension to your face. So I'm using the House Labs blush, Fire Moon. It's so natural, it gets the job done, and it doesn't look too much. Apply to give some warmth. Without the warmth, your face will be looking a bit pale. On my eyelid, I'm not going to do anything special. I'm going to just use my foundation to prep the eyelid so that it just blends in seconds. So once you've blended it out like this, go ahead to use the same brush and pick like a bronzer color or like a brown color. I'm using the same bronzer that I used initially. Pick the product and then just use that to just, you know, apply over there. When you don't do your eyes at all, sometimes, especially when you don't end up lining, or, you know, your eyes tend to, you know, not look as open as it should or as open as it would if you had like a proper, you know, eye makeup. So what I normally do, just use one color like this bronzer and just apply that all over your entire eyelid to, you know, just give your eye that kind of like definition, and it helps to open up your eyes so you're not looking too tired. And even in your pictures, you want everything to be looking like subtle, you know, but there, you get what I mean? So this is just appropriate. When you use a brown color that is like, you know, slightly darker than your complexion, it's easy for you to, you know, just blend it in with ease without any struggle or spending too much time with the blend. But when the color is a little bright, you're going to pay more attention to the blend and all of that. But with a color that is close to your complexion, you can't even see when there's like an error or anything like that. Line your eyes. I'm using the Polar B gel liner. This is a very good gel liner. If you don't have the Inglot, this is a good alternative. Basically just line. If you have a liquid liner, that would be good too, but especially when I'm brushing, because the liquid one, with any mistake, you're back to square one. You have to start having to try to figure out how to clean the error and all of that. I don't have that time now. So you see the way my eyes, like, look at this eye and look at this eye, you can obviously tell there's a huge difference. So your wing liner just, you know, makes a huge difference if you can wing it right. You have to line your eye, oh. If you don't line your eyes, you'll be looking like you're still sleepy. Fenty Beauty to line. Lip pencil is so soft. One swipe and that's it. Shilab lip gloss, just to add some gloss to it. I'm using the Maybelline Super Stay pressed powder. I'll blend out my under eye. Oh. We're gonna go ahead to spray. Lock everything in with the Morphe Continuous Mist. Sis, if you do not spray your face, your makeup will be looking like where you layered clay. and did not put water, so it won't settle. So you want to make sure that you spray your face. It's going to lock in and make everything look subtle and more natural. So I don't know, it's giving me everything it's supposed to give. And I have my jewelry here from Faye Jewel. I'll put their details in the description box. Isn't this cute teddy bear necklace? So you guys may not see my feet, but this horse has been so loyal for a very long time.